Hi everyone and welcome to building an AI-enabled Alexa skill with IoT connectivity. My name is Gunnar Grosch, I am a senior developer advocate at AWS, and today we're going to look at how to build an Alexa skill connected to an IoT device and add some AWS managed AI services to it as well. This is going to be quite fast-paced, but don't worry, you can always rewatch and you'll be able to look at all the code afterwards as well. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at how our IoT thing is connected. We're going to create our Alexa skill. Then we're going to take a picture using that skill and the IoT thing. We're going to save that picture and then analyze it using AWS AI services. So let's get to it straight away. First off, looking at the IoT thing. This is an IoT camera that we'll be using, and this is the one, the ESP32 cam, a small device with a built-in camera, perfect for these kind of experiments. And we're connecting that to AWS IoT Core, the managed IoT platform from AWS. And this is the functionality we're after. We're going to have our IoT thing to subscribe to an IoT topic and wait for messages to arrive. When the message arrives, the thing will take a picture and post that to a different IoT topic. And we're then able to use that image data for the rest of our application. So let's look at how it works. As I said, the IoT thing is already connected and hooked up, so we have that in place already. The application on the thing, it has the functionality needed to be able to subscribe to the topic we decide, and it will then, based on the messages it receives, take a picture and post that to the other topic. And let's give it a try to see that it works. So this is the test client for the IoT console. So I've subscribed to both our messages, both the subscription one and the publish one. So if all works, if I post or publish a message to the topic that our thing subscribes to, it should then take a picture and post that to the other topic. So let's give it a try. Let's publish a message. Cool. Straight away we can see that we get the green dot, meaning that there's a new message published. So let's look at that, scroll down, and we can see now that there is a message published. We can't really see the image, but that's image data, so it's looking promising. All right. On to the next part then, to create our Alexa skill. And this is fairly easy. What we want is our users to be able to talk to Alexa. Alexa should then invoke our Lambda function, do the business logic, the functionality within our Alexa skill, post a message back to Alexa, and then our user will get that from Alexa. All right, so let's look at how we can do that then. Let's create our Alexa skill in the Alexa developer console. We're going to use a custom model for this, and we can choose between having it Alexa hosted or provision our own, and in this case we're going to provision our own endpoint and the backend resources for our skill. So let's create the skill. And we'll start from scratch. And now it will create the skill. This takes a couple of seconds, so just hold on. There we go. All right, so let's first off change our invocation name. And the invocation name, let's call it Gunnar Community. Let's see if we can pronounce Gunnar correctly. Save our model. Go. And we can now restart the build with the new invocation name. There we go. All right, so let's jump over to VS Code to look at the code for our backend. And I'm using a SAM template, AWS SAM, as a framework to be able to deploy our backend. And I'm using a sample using a SAM sample for an Alexa skill. So it's basically one AWS Lambda function and the template for that. So let's look at the code first off. So this is the sample code for an Alexa skill, a great way to get started building our skills. So let's first off just change hello community. That's what Alexa is gonna say to start off. And then let's look at our template. And this is a fairly short template right now. We have a parameter that we need to enter. That's the ID of our Alexa skill. We'll fetch that from the console. And then we have our Lambda function. And as an output, we'll get different data that we'll be able to use later on. And as an event trigger for our Lambda function, we have the Alexa skill, so that Alexa is able to trigger our AWS Lambda function. All right, so that should be it. Let's then deploy this. First, do a SAM build. Let's SAM build our backend. And then we'll do a SAM deploy, use the guided version. Good stack name, deploy in EU West 1. And then we need to enter our Alexa skill ID as a parameter. So switching back to the developer console, I'm gonna look at our endpoints. And there we go. This is our skill ID. Let's copy that. Paste it. Now just let AWS SAM deploy our backend, our Lambda function. Wait for that to finish. Then we'll get an ARN as an output. And that is something that will enter then into the Alexa console so that Alexa knows which AWS Lambda function to trigger when we're invoking our skill. Here we go. And this is the ARN for our Alexa skill function. Copying that and pasting it once again in the endpoint for our skill. Remove that space. Now just save. There we go. So let's test it. See if I can pronounce my name so Alexa will understand it. Open Gunnar Community.
Hello, community.
There we go. So our Lambda function was invoked by opening our skill. The event trigger was Alexa, and now our Lambda function has been invoked, and we get the reply back. Cool. So there we go. Now we've created our Alexa skill. So with our Alexa skill in place, the next step then is to get our Alexa skill to be able to take a picture using the IoT thing. And we're going to do it this way. So the user tells Alexa to take a picture, the Lambda function is invoked, sends a message to our IoT topic. And the IoT thing will then get that message based on the subscription, take a picture, and return the image data to the other IoT topic. So let's look at how that works. First off, in the developer console, we need to add a new intent for this functionality. So let's create a custom intent, take picture intent. And utterances to say to start it, take image, take picture, snap photo. All right, I think that's enough. Let's save the model and build the model. Now let's switch back to VS Code. This is the code for our Lambda function for the Alexa skill. I've added the AWS SDK so that we're able to use IoT data now to be able to post to our endpoint. And this is the take picture intent handler. It speaks out, says taking a picture using IoT device, and then it uses the take picture function. And this is the take picture function. What it does is basically just publish a message to our IoT topic. So that's it. I've also updated the template to now use an IoT endpoint and IoT topic publish parameter. Added those as environment variables to our function, and added a pub policy so that the function is able to publish messages to the IoT topic. So let's deploy this. Here we go. While that is deploying, it should be done fairly quick. The build is successful as well. Let's go to test in the Alexa console. Open Gunnar Community.
Hello, community.
Take picture.
Taking a picture using IoT device. What do you want to do now?
Cool. So we've used the take picture intent, and hopefully a picture was taken by the thing. Let's go to the IoT console and look. And as we can see on that topic, there is a green dot. So looks like an image has been posted. So that's great. We've now been able to add a new intent for taking pictures. So now we're able to get Alexa to actually take a picture using the IoT thing. So the next step then is to use that image data and save it somewhere. And this is the architecture for that. We have the IoT thing, take a picture, publish that to the IoT topic. Now we're adding a new Lambda function who will then be triggered by a message to that topic when image data is published. It will trigger and store that image in an S3 bucket. So fairly easy. Let's switch over to VS Code. Nothing to do in the Alexa console with this functionality. So I've added the code for an additional Lambda function for saving the image. And we're using the AWS SDK, and we're going to use it to save to S3. So what we're doing is we're fetching the data from that IoT topic. Since that's the event trigger for our Lambda function, the image data is part of the event data that the Lambda function receives. So we're able to buffer that data, and then using parameters, we're able to select where we want to save this, and we're going to save it in a specified S3 bucket. And then we just do an S3 put object into that bucket. Let's look at the template. So I've added a couple of more parameters for us to be able to have the subscription topic, so we're able to get the image data. And then we select an object name so that we're able to store our image. And we've added another Lambda function, save image function, which then is triggered by an IoT message from our IoT topic. And then we'll be able to store it in an S3 bucket created here in the template. Okay, so let's try that out then. Let's build this. Go. just need to enter a few more arguments. And let's call the image alexa.jpg. There we go. And that is now deploying. Using the Alexa developer console, let's try it out then to see if it works. Open Gunnar Community.
Hello, community.
Take picture.
Taking a picture using IoT device. What do you want to do now?
Right, so switching to the S3 management console. If it works, we should now have a picture in the bucket. And we do have a picture, so let's download that. There we go, upside down, but it works. We're now able to take a picture and store it in S3. That's cool. So now we're able to take pictures using Alexa, and we're able to store those images in S3. Time for the final step when we're gonna analyze those images. So with the architecture in mind, we're gonna add recognition to that. So when the user tells Alexa to analyze an image, the Lambda function gets invoked, uses recognition to look at the image in our S3 bucket, and returns the labels from that image to the Lambda function, and then we'll use that in the skill and back to the user. So the first step then, once again, is to add another intent for us. So let's create a custom intent. Analyze picture intent. And some utterances. Analyze picture. Analyze image. Analyze photo. I think that makes sense. We'll save the model and build that model. There we go. Switching back to VS Code and our Lambda function for the Alexa skill. We've now added recognition to the Lambda function and a new analyze picture intent handler, and also a function to do the actual image analysis using recognition. And that function is fairly simple. We'll pass some parameters, namely the S3 bucket name and the image object name. And we'll pass that on to recognition to detect the labels of that image. That is, what does recognition see on the image? And then we'll use that, the labels from that response, to do a speak output through Alexa. I am, and then we'll use the confidence number. How confident is recognition in what it's seeing? Percent confident that I see, and then the name of that label. Looking at the template, we've now simply added a few more environment variables to our Alexa skill function so that we're able to fetch both the object and the bucket name, and then added additional policies to be able to read from S3 and to use recognition. And that's pretty much it. So let's deploy this. And while that is deploying, it's going to go fairly quick. We can switch over to the Alexa console once again. The build is done, of course. So now I suppose it's time to test the entire workflow. So first off, let's open our skill. Open Gunnar Community.
Hello, community.
And now the next step is to take a picture, so let's make a selfie out of it. Take picture.
Taking a picture using IoT device. What do you want to do now?
And the next step then is to analyze that picture. Analyze picture.
I am 99% confident that I see face. What do you want to do now?
Well, I am 100% confident that I have a face, so apparently it works. Let's try it again. Let's take a picture of a computer. Take picture.
Taking a picture using IoT device. What do you want to do now?
Analyze picture.
I am 98% confident that I see screen. What do you want to do now?
And my computer has a screen, so I'd say that 98% confidence is pretty good in this case. All right. So now we've built an AI-enabled Alexa skill with IoT connectivity. And it has these parts. So we're able to tell Alexa to take a picture, which invokes a Lambda function, sends a message to our IoT topic, and the IoT thing takes the picture, sends that image data to another IoT topic, which invokes a Lambda function and stores that image in S3. Then we're able to tell Alexa to analyze that image, invokes the Lambda function, uses recognition to look at the image in the S3 bucket, and return the labels from that image object. And then Alexa tells us what she sees in that image. And with 99% confidence, she knows that I have a face. So, my name is Gunnar Grosch, and today we've really quickly looked at how we can build an Alexa skill with IoT connectivity and use a managed AWS service for AI through recognition. Follow me on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn if you have any questions. Thank you very much.